We're always studying the semiotics. The signs and symbolisms that we give a meaning or signify are everywhere. All the texts and narratologies we hear, listen, see, and watch in our lives, such as novels, stories, movies, news, are the work from the semiotics. In our proposal, we're going to make an addition to the memorial of the students Jorge Mercado and Javier Arredondo, which is located down the bridge Eugenio Garzazada y Luis Elizondo, burdening it with two semiotic concepts in which we think are the most relatable in this case. In 2006, Felipe Calderón came up as the president of Mexico with one controversial proposal: his war against the narcotráfico. Who might say this year will be the most violent in the recent history of Mexico? Exactly the same year when the Mexican militia murdered two students from the Tecnológico de Monterrey inside their installations, Javier Arredondo, Jorge Mercado. Since the act of murdering Javier and Jorge wasn't enough, the Mexican militia tried to cover the murderer, saying that the students were two highly dangerous hitmen they were tracking off and justifying the assassination by saying they were armed to the teeth. Playing this kind of game, the Nuevo León Attorney General Office backed up this statement until 2019, in which, of course, by another government, the Mexican state asked for public apologies to the family of Javier Arredondo y Jorge Mercado.
Until the sunrise from today, the guilty militia and authorities who allowed this to happen are still free. In 2015, some students from the Tecnológico de Monterrey painted up a memorial in their names to pay tribute to what happened to Jorge and Javier, and as a reminder to never forget the pressure state that has always existed against students. Our proposal is to add several drawings of toothless mouth acting as they were screaming just as both students were screaming and running from their lives, with a label in the lip saying armados hasta and in the inferior lip los dientes, around and nearby the memorial of Javier and Jorge. The question here is the same interrogant you may be thinking right now. How does the semiotics apply in here? Semiotics, as a study of signs and their interpretation, plays a crucial role in understanding how cultural text is communicated through these symbols. In this case, it helps us analyze how people interact with these memorials and how they interpret the signs and symbols in the present. For this time, we're choosing two concepts which we think are relatable to our proposal. Talking about the cultural text, memorials are artistic and architectural expressions which employ a symbolic language that are closely related to the cultural context in which they are found. This time, the visual element will be the toothless mouth, to remember the quote that started this strategy, and this function is to remind people the importance of remembering what really happened. Secondly, the location of the mouths will be around the memorial. This to remind the mouths that spread the rumors and defamation of Javier and Jorge, led by the militia, Attorney's District General's Office, and the General Prosecutor of the Republic. Now, the cultural code is intertwined in a complex narrative of meanings and symbolisms. As principle, we have the quote said by the Mexican militia, armados hasta los dientes. Armados hasta los dientes is the most expressively code of this tragic event. Indeed, we can find it as a peritext written in our proposal. This resource helps in maintaining the collective narrative built up by the student community all around Mexico that have suffered from the same oppression from part of the state. This obviously helps for the preservation of memory of what happened to Javier and Jorge. Semiotics, at the end of the day, allow us to unravel the meaning of the signs and symbols used, analyze their connection to cultural identity, and understand how visitors interpret and relate to these cultural codes and texts in the context of the memorial. So, just as a reminder, Jorge and Javier were not armados hasta los dientes. The district attorney, the Mexican state, and the Mexican militia are still free and haven't paid for what they've done.